Yes, the channel has a name. Straight Talk Politics. The name evolved from the Underground Political Channel because that just led to too many jokes and didn't work in my mind. The point of the channel is to give straight talk, calm talk, keep my temper under control, and provide an analysis. It could be useful for investors. It could be useful for people who are upset about the political situation. But the idea is to stay calm and to deal with this intellectually. I'm sure some things will make me emotional, but that's what we're going for here. This is the Week in Review, November 22nd, 2024. Let's actually add that to the title here. Okay, here we go. 11:22, 2, 2. Okay. There it is. Straight Talk Politics, the Week in Review, 2024. Okay, we've got a lot of news this week. That's kind of cool. The pushback has begun in Trumpland. Earlier today, Thursday the 21st, this article is the example of where the nomination was going. GOP senators, Gates nomination ahead, Justice Department in serious trouble. That was on the 15th. 5 days pass, and it's off the rails. It's gone. Now, this is kind of interesting though, because look here. Trump gives a one-word response if he's reconsidering Matt Gaetz' AG nomination. That answer was no. I hope it was no. But look at the AP here. Trump chooses Pam Bondi for Attorney General pick after Gaetz withdraws. So there's two ways to look at this. Gaetz was doomed. Senators from both parties were demanding a look at the ethics report and information from the Justice Department on the investigation into these allegations he's had. Illicit relationships, paying for relations, and being with underage people. It was a mess. It was distraction. But there's two ways to look at it. He's gone. He's no longer in the United States Congress. So this may have been a path for Donald Trump to get rid of him. Maybe Donald actually knew that the Senate was not going to tolerate him. I think not. I think that Donald Trump actually expected the Attorney General, the Senate, to roll over for him. And there's been a couple of developments in that area. Several senators have said very clearly, Donald Trump, we will not allow you to do any recess appointments. And the Supreme Court already settled the recess appointment issue by when Barack Obama went to the Supreme Court to challenge the legality of the Senate going out of session. Because in the old days, if the Senate went out of session for 1 day or 1 hour, the president could do recess appointments. The Senate has stood up and said that unanimous Democrats and at least a half dozen Republicans, no, we're not going to allow recess appointments. There's not going to be a deal where we get to see the list of recess appointments. There's not going to be, the Senate is not going to surrender its advice and consent powers to Donald Trump, president or not. Very interesting also, Donald Trump has loudly cried out saying that Charles Schumer is doing something wrong by trying to clear out the already vetted but not approved Joe Biden judge nominees. He also got on the case of a couple senators and some people on Twitter also went after J.D. Vance, Tom Cruise and J.D. Vance and a couple other senators were attacked for not being there for the votes, but the Democrats had have a 3-vote margin right now. So 2 senators missing a vote that went 49 to 46 doesn't matter. Even if they managed to find 3 senators, then Kamala Harris is standing by in Washington D.C. getting ready to be the tying vote. The Republicans do not have enough votes to stop any nominees from Biden. They have the ability to slow things down. Charles Schumer has been up till 3 or 4 in the morning several days in a row, and that's going to happen a lot between now. But in the end, most of Biden's appointments, possibly a record for a single 4-year presidency, are going to get confirmed. So people are pushing back successfully against the incoming president, Donald Trump. What else is interesting this week? Could changes be coming to Medicare and Medicaid with Dr. Oz leading CMS? Absolutely. He is at least a healthcare professional. I don't know what experience he has that would make him right to run this agency, but I've seen some reports out there that have clearly indicated that he plans to push private Medicare options. That's not a surprise. That's what Republicans always do. That's not very disruptive. But obviously, as a television personality, he has the ability to go out there and sell. He's coming up with a new plan to offer more private insurance options, and he's going to sell that plan. I don't think that just not having run a large organization or not having government experience is enough to stop this nomination. I predict he will go forward. He's not a great campaigner. He ran for the Senate in Pennsylvania. Problem is he really didn't live in Pennsylvania, but maybe he's learned from that. But Dr. Oz is going to happen. And I don't think new ideas is a bad thing. I think new ideas could be a good thing. What to know about Dr. Oz, Trump's pick to lead Medicare and Medicaid. I've actually heard that there's this new concept. I work at an insurance company. I just heard this yesterday. There's called duals. There are people who are eligible for Medicare and Medicaid. And providers are getting ready to compete for these members. And right now we're in open enrollment for Medicare and for ACA. An interesting fact here, he made his reputation as a surgeon, but he made a fortune as a salesman. He knows how to sell. No doubt about that. Thank you, AP, for this background information. But the Week in Review is not done. There is much more to talk about. So, RFK. Whoa! Wacko alert! He's been anti-vax. He believes in and spouted conspiracy theories. That's maybe why Donald Trump liked him. He's got all kinds of crazy ideas. He thinks that America is being poisoned. And although not totally off base, mostly off base, there are some facts that he can point out that deserve consideration. Not about vaccinations, but there is a corporate pharmaceutical attitude in the American market for healthcare that needs to be reviewed. The problem is Robert F. Kennedy is a crackpot, and he's suspected of sexual assault. I would have to say that that makes him unqualified. I mean, make America full of crackpots again? Make American crackpots employable again? I mean, it's understandable that Donald Trump, who has been convicted of, in a civil court, of sexual assault, and has a long track record of abusing women, would give Robert Kennedy a pass on a sexual assault claim or allegation. In fairness, there's been no criminal trial, there's been no conviction. So, okay, let's ignore the headline you see on your screen right now from Forbes. Let's look into the crackpot. I watched a 90-minute interview with him. Um, and I watched a couple of long interviews with Robert F. Kennedy, and he just doesn't make sense. He believes in things that are just scientifically not true. So now we want to make him the healthcare czar? Health and Human Services? Seems to me that's a bad way to go. I could be wrong, but just doesn't seem to be the way to go. Interesting that the instant that Matt Gaetz withdrew his name from consideration for Attorney General, that Donald Trump put up another name. I'm happy that J.D. Vance is not hiding under a rock, that he's actually checked his Twitter account and responded to some allegations. He was very disrespectful to a presumably female ex-poster, Twitter poster, called her a mouth breather and otherwise insulted her. I would think that, America is great, even with Donald Trump as president or president-elect. America has not ceased to be great. It's never ceased to be a great nation. I say, make America civil again. We don't have to insult each other to have political differences. We can talk calmly. We can show respect to each other. It's not necessary that we make other people feel bad and call them names and threaten to shoot them. So let's make America civil again. Obviously, if the Americans believe that, we wouldn't have Donald Trump as the president-elect. I would like to talk about the story, which is linked on the site. It's running on the front page of the channel right now. Is the United States acting like Saddam? That video talks about what happened to Saddam, which was the Torah portion of the week, last week, in Jewish observant synagogues. It's kind of interesting that America has expressed hate toward immigrants, and even toward some men towards women. Xenophobia is alive and well in this country, and a lot of people hate immigrants. And we're already seeing buyer's remorse. I've seen several verified people that have said, "Oh, I didn't think that Donald Trump was going to deport my grandma." Yeah. The only thing that's going to protect your grandma is the fact that she's probably not a criminal, and the fact that the government doesn't have $600 billion that might be required to deport between 11 and 20 million people. We don't have the money. So let me give you a quick look at what's coming up next week. We're going to examine the economy. There's been some signs in the mortgage market that the tariffs and the uncertainty is causing mortgage rates to go up. The tariffs will cause inflation to go up. There's news from Target and Walmart. And the mortgage market is working against Trump. A lot of his voters cited costs, housing costs. If mortgages go up, that makes housing more expensive. That is the exact opposite of what Donald Trump promised. I think he could be the first president to become a lame duck before he gets into office. because he can't serve another term without a constitutional amendment. So let's see. Next week we're also going to deal with the people who think that a civil war is happening in this country. I don't think that's happening. I'm seeing further evidence that the Affordable Care Act is going to be staying in place. My employer, which does a lot of business, number one provider of healthcare through the Affordable Care Act, is expecting revenue to increase, is expecting members to increase, and believes that efforts to repeal the Affordable Care Act are either not going to happen, and if they happen, they're not going to succeed. The talk in the Trump camp is reform, or take credit for making it better during the last term, even though they tried to destroy it 63 times. They're good at rewriting history. Cut them some slack. Have a good weekend, everybody, and we'll talk to you on Monday or the weekend if something interesting comes up. If you like this content, please press subscribe. Please press right. Please press likes. We like lots of likes. And press the notify button. We're going to go on a once a day or twice a day, 5-day-a-week schedule. This is one of the longest videos I've ever recorded. I'm going to be taking some steps to make sure that the videos are prominently displayed and they make it into people's boxes that are not currently subscribers. Definitely could use some subscribers. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Again, have a good weekend.